Alright guys, what's going on today? So today I want to do a little comparison between the KRK Rokit series and the PreSonus Eris series studio monitors. These are two monitors that, or two companies I should say, which are not often compared. Mostly because PreSonus is, I'm not going to say a little bit behind, but they're just not as popular. And when you're looking at, these low to mid-range monitor comparisons, you typically see them between KRKs and Yamahas, KRKs and JBLs, or KRKs and other, more popular monitor brands. Those two specifically. Although comparing these to the PreSonus is totally doable, and that's kind of why I wanted to get into that, because you don't often see it. For starters, and just for reference, these are the KRK G4 8s. That means they are the Generation 4 Rokits. And since, the first generation, even since the third generation, they've come a long way. The bass response is much tighter and much better than it used to be. One reason, and probably the main reason why people hated on the KRK Rokits for so long, was because the bass was just kind of crummy. It really lacked that punch. It lacked that dynamic low end that you need as a mixing engineer to really listen to your tracks in an honest way. And so the fact that they were able to kind of tighten things up, add the front firing ports, use this nice Kevlar design to give it that punchiness, to give it that tightness, that's really brought these out into the limelight, in my opinion. If you would have asked me a couple years ago if I would have ever used KRK Rokits, I probably would have told you no. Now they've come a long way, and I appreciate them a lot more. Now, moving to PreSonus, they've done a lot. They've tried a lot of different designs for their monitors until they kind of got around to what stuck. Sort of similar to KRK. They've done the single point dual concentric drivers. They've done the ribbon tweeters in the R series. The Diapolito designs. Those in the Eris series. They're a company that's not afraid to get a little bit innovative, which is nice. Most often compared to the KRK Rokit 8s are the Eris E8 XTs. They use a woven composite driver, which in my opinion is almost as good as the Kevlar drivers. I'm not going to say it's as tight, but it does sound good. It's really has a really solid build. And you do have a 1.25 inch silk dome tweeter instead of a 1 inch. So the sweet spot is a little bit wider, which is nice, especially also considering the fact that they do give you a wavetable guide in the PreSonus Eris speakers. So when it comes to actually, listening and trying to listen more intently, with the KRK Rokits, you do kind of have to find that sweet spot and make sure that you're sitting in it, or else you're not really listening to the full extent. With the PreSonus Eris, you kind of have the ability to move around and still get a good listening level. I would say that when you're picking between the two, I think that there's not a huge difference at this point now. I think both of the companies have kind of come into fruition. They've kind of found themselves and really made a good name for themselves. At this point, KRK just seems a little more reliable to me. It seems that they've been working longer up to this point, and I think that I can just trust that their brand has really taken quality far and still kept things fairly inexpensive, which is really nice, especially for when you need a pair of monitors at home. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The KRK versus the PreSonus Eris, I would go with the KRK in my opinion. If you guys have any insights into which one you like better or worse, or if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, that's all. Thank you guys.